A certain person told me that if I drink half a dozen pints of this Jennings World's Biggest Layer Ale really fast, he said it would be good for my nerves and it would make the audience see smaller. Unfortunately though, I'm seeing double now, so thanks very much Johnny Lyer for that advice. Anyway, I stand here tonight, on a more serious note, I stand here tonight representing a group of people that are daft. Now I'm not from Copeland Council. What I mean is, I'm representing a group of people that are campaigning against the disappearance of our lovely fells in the Lake District. And our group are called the Defence Association for Fells Today, or DAFT for short, you see. Now at this present time there are 227 fells in the Lake District on record. However, early Roman records state there were actually over 300 fells. Now that's a difference of 70 odd fells that have disappeared, vanished. So where could they have gone to? Landslides, wind erosion? No, I'll tell you where they've gone. They've been eaten by people. First of all by the greedy Romans, as I will explain, and secondly by a sinister modern day cult that call themselves the Fell Gobblers. Oh, you may scoff, the Romans and the Fell Gobblers certainly have been. Now why would anyone want to eat a fell? Well, you'd be surprised to know that fell earth, once you take out the stones, contains over 25 times more iron and 10 times more vitamins and nutrients than what was in that lovely tater pot supper that we enjoyed here tonight. And everybody knows how much goodness is in a tater pot supper, right? So of course anyone eating something with this much goodness in it is soon going to grow bigger, stronger and fitter in a very short space of time. Now take me for example. 6 months ago I was 5'4" and I weighed 12.5 stone. Now as you can see, I'm 6'2" and I weigh about 13 stone. What? Two friends of mine that have also been on the Fell Earth diet, when they first started, they were scrawny little shrimps. You want to see them now, they're massive. Professional rugby players. They're both big strapping rugby forwards. Now I was going to bring them up here tonight to show you them. But unfortunately, one of the rules of this competition says that I'm not allowed to use any props. Now let's just take a moment here and look at the word fell. Now the first two letters, Fe, is the chemical symbol for iron. The second two letters, LL, are Roman numerals for 50, 50. So basically what you've got here is actually a word that says iron 50-50. Now this is actually an old Roman recipe, this word, you know, the one that we've been following. And what it tells you to do is, you take the iron-rich earth and you mix it in with your food 50-50, and this is your results. Now I know it doesn't sound all that appetising, but don't knock it till you've tried the Dent dumplings, the Campbell cakes and the Wasdale Head waffles. They're beautiful with a bit of butter on, by the way. You see, how all this started was, when the Romans invaded Britain, part of the Roman army came into the Lake District, as you know. Now it was led by a famous Roman general named Uk.k. Now General Uk.k. was a bit unlucky because not only was it a freezing cold winter when he arrived, he was also low on rations. So he got talking to one of the local lads, a Mr. Will Ritson, who incidentally had a great grandson that went on to grow giant turnips. Anyway, he advised General Uk.k. He said, get your men to go up to the big hills, collect some of the soil and mix it in with your food 50-50 and your men will survive the winter. So General Uk.k. went back to his troops, gathered them round and told them the crack. At first they just laughed at him, they said, you're kidding us, you're kidding us. Anyway, he reassured them, so they tried it out. Unbelievable results. In a few days his men were bigger, stronger and fitter. In a couple of months he soon had the strongest legion in the whole Roman army. Now word soon got back to Rome about this, and it wasn't long before they were exporting thousands of tons of fell earth back to Rome and throughout the Roman Empire. They nearly conquered the world, you know, the Romans. They would have conquered the world, but unfortunately there's a downside to eating so much fell earth. You see, it contains so much iron that the Romans, with all the marching and the sweating, they began to rust. Rusty Romans, you see. They went from being marauding Romans to corroding Romans. This is what triggered the downfall of the great Roman Empire, you know, eating our fells. That'll teach them, eh? Anyway, today's modern day fell gobblers haven't got them problems, mind you. Not with today's technology. They use cod liver oil tablets and WD-40. Straight up, they spray themselves with WD-40 like it's antiperspirant deodorant, and then they go out on the town and they get well oiled. This keeps it up here, you see. There's a few of them at the bar there. The great Emperor Qin, you know, the first Emperor of China, he heard about the Romans eating the fella, so he decided to test it out on his own men. So he got 8,000 troops from his imperial army to eat earth from the Uk.k mountains. Now at first the results were great. Loud Chinese men were shooting up. It was even more potent than the fella. But they overdone it, the Chinese, you see. They were mixing the Uk.k mountain earth in with the Chinese meals and eating it. Well, they were hungry again an hour later. Also, the constituency of the Uk.k mountain earth wasn't right. It contained far, far too much clay. So of course when he sent his men into battle, they were marching and sweating. The sun came out. Well, you've seen the terracotta army, haven't you? Those are real men down there. And horses. Anyway, folks, we must save our fells because every year they're getting smaller and smaller. It's disappearing right under our noses. Did you know that the Lord's seat used to be known as the Lord's sofa? Great pike used to be known as Great Shark. Oh, no, the old man of Coniston used to be known as the buxom young lady of Coniston, if you know what I mean. Anyway, folks, I'm going to sit down in a minute because has the bell gone, yeah? Yes. Right, I thought you easy thing like that. I'm going to sit down now, but before I do, could I just quickly relate to you a little poem that was actually found in a 2,000-year-old Roman clay pot, and it proves that the Romans were eating felleth at the time. And it goes like this. There was a legionnaire called Mike who got lost while out on a hike. He was saved by a hair's breadth from starving to death by tucking into Scafell Pike. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great evening.
Yeah, keep your hands going for Glen Boylan.